Tiger, what's the difference between the man who left Augusta National a year ago and the one who's about to return?
A lot has transpired in my life. A lot of ugly things have happened. Things that I've done some pretty bad things in my life, and all came to a head. But now, after treatment, going for inpatient treatment for 45 days and in more outpatient treatment, I'm getting back to my old roots.
For a lot of people, the spark of those bad things is November 27th. Early that day, what happened?
Well, it's all in a police report. You know, beyond that, everything's between Elin and myself, and that's private.
Why did you lose control of the car?
As I said, that's between Elin and myself.
If it's a private matter, why issue a public apology?
Well, I owe a lot of people an apology. I hurt a lot of people, not just my wife, my friends, my colleagues, the public, kids who looked up to me. There were a lot of people that thought I was a different person, and my actions were not according to that, and that's why I had to apologize. I was so sorry for what I've done.
You said you've made transgressions. How would you, in your own words, describe the depth of your infidelity? Well,
just one is enough. And obviously that wasn't the case. And I made my mistakes. And as I said, I've hurt so many people. And so many people I have to make an amends to. And that's living a life of amends.
You said you were in treatment. The simple question is, for what?
Well, that's a private matter as well. But I can tell you what, it was tough. It was really tough to look at yourself in a light that you never want to look at yourself. That's pretty brutal.
What did you see?
I saw a person that I never thought I would ever become.
Who was that?
Well, I got away from my core values, as I said earlier. I got away from my Buddhism. And I quit meditating. I quit doing all the things that my mom and dad had taught me. And as I said earlier in my statement, I felt entitled. And that is not how I was raised.
Why not seek treatment before all of this came out?
Well, I didn't know I was that bad. I didn't know I was that bad. I was living a life.
How did you learn that? How did you learn it?
Stripping away denial, rationalization. You strip all that away and you find the truth.
How do you reconcile your behavior with your view of marriage?
That's living a life in amends. That's just working at it each and every day.
Given all that's happened, what's your measure of success at Augusta?
Well, playing is one thing. I'm excited to get back and play. I'm excited to see the guys again. I really missed a lot of my friends out there. I miss competing. But still, I still have a lot more treatment to do. And just because I'm playing doesn't mean I'm going to stop going to treatment.
What reception are you expecting from fans?
I don't know. I don't know. I am a little nervous about that, and to be honest with you. That's,
how much do you care?
It would be nice to hear a couple claps here and there. But I also hope there also claps for birdies, too.
11 months ago, here at Isleworth, I asked you, how well does the world know you? What's your answer to that now?
A lot better now. I was living a life of a lie. I really was. And I was doing a lot of things, as I said, that hurt a lot of people. And stripping away denial and rationalization, you start coming to the truth of who you really are. And that can be very ugly. But then again, when you face it and you start conquering it and you start living up to it, the strength that I feel now, I've never felt that type of strength.
In the last 4 months, Tiger, what's been the low point?
Oh, I've had a lot of low points. Just when I didn't think I could get lower, it got lower.
An example?
Whether I was in treatment, out of treatment, before I went in. I mean, there were so many different low points. People I had to talk and face, like my wife, like my mom.
What was that moment like, either one?
They both have been brutal. They both have been very tough, because I've hurt them the most. Those are the two people in my life who I'm the closest to. And you know, to say the things that I've done truthfully to them was, you know, very painful.
What was your wife's reaction when you sat down and had that first conversation?
She was hurt. She was hurt, very hurt, shocked, angry, and, you know, she had every right to be. And I'm as disappointed as everyone else in my own behavior, because I can't believe I actually did that to the people I loved.
I ask this question respectfully. but of course at a distance from your family life. When you look at it now, why did you get married?
Why? Because I loved her. I loved Elin with everything I have, and that's something that makes me feel even worse. I did this to someone I love that much.
How do you reconcile what you've done with that love?
We work at it.
Michael Wilbon joins us now. And Michael, you've written about Tiger Woods in the Washington Post. You've talked about him on PTI and SportsCenter. What was your take from the Tom Rinaldi interview?
Well, I was a little surprised and happy that he talked. And I know in a 5-minute session, it's tough to get everything you want from a guy. And Tom certainly tried to do that. My impression was that Tiger wants to move on with his life. He's sorry, and he wants to play golf, which differs a little bit, Linda, from his statement, his prepared statement, in which he talked about getting on with his life and making necessary improvements, but did not talk about golf. With the Masters looming now, he's got to talk about golf. He knows these questions are going to be asked, and he's looking to head off some of these questions being asked at Augusta once he gets there and starts preparing. I don't think that's going to be the case, but Tiger is certainly moving in that direction, sort of a proactive attempt to say, okay, let me talk about this now. Let everybody see that I'm willing to answer questions, and we won't have to deal with this once the whole traveling caravan gets to Augusta. I don't think it's going to quite work out that way, but I understand what he's trying to do. I was a little more moved by his prepared statement than just about anybody, so I'm in the minority on that. I thought that day he sort of bared a lot of things I didn't think he would or necessarily needed to do. Obviously, he pushed away the questions about his marriage, and I'm fine with that. I don't think that those questions about his marriage are anybody's business, certainly not mine, even though as a journalist, I know I would have to ask that question, as Tom Rinaldi did. I don't know that he was revealing. I think we saw more sort of the same. I mean, he put it in the context of golf, and it was more personal. He talked about Elin specifically, talked about his mother specifically, how it felt to have to sit down and sort of make these revelations, answer these questions to them. So I thought it was more personal. Was there something that made me say, oh my goodness? No, but I didn't expect that. I expected Tiger Woods to still be the person that, in large part, that we've come to know.
Does Tiger owe us an explanation about the accident in November?
Maybe he owes law enforcement people an explanation about that. I mean, that's possible, yes. But again, I think more people, and maybe I'm wrong, Linda, are interested in sort of the titillating aspects of this and the marriage part, the supermarket tabloid things, the things you see at the checkout counter, whether Elin's coming or going, whether she's wearing a ring or not. I'm not interested in those things. And again, I think I'm probably in the minority on that. I don't feel it's any of my business. But I understand that people are going to feel the need to ask Tiger Woods. I think what he said to Tom in some ways is, I'm never going to answer that. And so what was unspoken is we're moving on to golf. I don't know that it's going to work that simply or as cleanly as Tiger Woods would like it to work. But I think that's what he's attempting to do.
Michael Wilbon, your insight always appreciated. Thanks.
Thanks, Linda.